your block. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're right here with your girl. And today we're gonna go over a few things that have to do with mental health illness, and mental health healing. And in step two, when you are on your journey of healing and in your process of healing, analyze is step two. And in analyze, you go deeper into what you value in your life, what you value about yourself, all your values all together. You begin to see what your strengths are, where you are being strengthening at. And then another big thing that happens is challenges. And that is something I'm gonna cover today is challenges, because there is a lot of challenges when it comes to life, and there is multiple challenges when it comes to getting yourself healed and going through mental health healing. So that is what we are going to be talking about today, and I appreciate everybody for being here. Like I said, this is Ezriyah Scott. Meet me halfway on your block. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're right here with your girl. So we'll get started with baby. Mama, that's dangerous. They can blow up. They can blow up. We are going to get started here in a few. Let some people in. A lot of things that we have been covering so far have been things of the nature of early trauma. And a lot of people's early trauma is childhood trauma, teenage trauma. You see that a lot of people are going through things, they're suffering from things that happen to them whenever babies, toddlers, infants, juveniles, adolescents, and they carry it throughout their whole entire life in their 20s and their 30s, sometimes in their 40s and 50s. And most people have been dying with mental illness or not being able to get out of survival mode and get into living mode when it comes to healing your mental because of your past trauma or even drama. So as I was saying, step one to mental health healing would be realize. When you realize, you come to grip with what's needed for you to even want to challenge yourself to start and begin to heal. Now, step two is analyze. Analyze is when you begin to learn, study, and examine your emotions, your thoughts, your vocabulary. Then you dig deeper into your pain. What is the root cause of your pain? Now, when you start doing this, that's when challenges arrive, okay? And that is the biggest thing to cover, is knowing that it's not going to be an easy road for you to heal. It's not going to be a smooth sailing for you to just wake up and say, okay, I'm going to start healing from my past, my childhood trauma or teenage trauma. You don't wake up and say that. You wake up and you realize, step one, that something is not right. You realize that you want things to change. You realize you want better. Then, which is basically comes to grips of something that's needed in your life. And then when you get to analyze, you learning yourself, you learning your behaviors, your past behaviors compared to now. You learning the root cause of what caused you pain. And every emotion basically equals pain. When it comes to guilt, loneliness, depression, a lot of that basically when you break it down is pain. So when you start to tap in the root cause of your pain, you find out that you weren't the person who caused your pain, somebody else did. And that's where the challenges present themselves in the mental health healing process. Now, when you don't pay attention to who did what they did to you, that's when you can challenge yourself. You don't want to challenge the person that hurt you. They've already did their challenges. That's why you're left with pain. So when you challenge yourself in the mental health healing process, you give yourself opportunities for problem solving. So when a challenge does present itself, you learn to problem solve. You study and examine the ways for you to problem solve. It does not become a threat for you to start surviving anymore. We're not doing that when we're trying to heal from our past trauma, from our childhood drama and trauma. What we do is we take that challenge, and like I said, and we turn it into a problem solving mechanism. We begin to start thinking different, we begin to start acting different, and we also begin to start talking different, okay? And the reason why we're doing that is because them were the big skills that we would use. Go ahead and get ready, sweetie. The big skills that we would use to challenge ourselves while there is a challenge that's presenting itself. There will be people from the past coming back up. There will be smells from the past coming back up. And that is a challenge because it's a problem, okay? It's a problem because it presents itself as something that is traumatic that happened in your life. But since we are focusing on making ourselves better, we're going to take that challenge and flip it around and start problem solving into a bigger realm of things that we can understand and work our way through without being depressed, without being sad, without feeling lonely, without feeling guilty. So the biggest priority in challenging yourself is use that opportunity as an opportunity to problem solve. Do not think of it as this is a threat and I need to survive, because you're out of that. You were surviving when you were unhealed. You were surviving when you was a child and a teenager. But now that you're a little bit older and wiser and you know that you want to change your life for the better, you begin to make the challenges into problem solving mechanisms, okay? Another thing that we're going to be working on while we're challenging ourselves and other challenges trying to present ourselves is we're going to use control. In the past, no, we did not use control. We got depressed, we got sad, we cried, we felt lonely, we were angry, we lashed out, we shut out from the rest of the world. But this time, we're not going to do that. We're going to control our emotion in the response of an event. So when something arises, something happens, something that you're familiar with from the past, what you're going to do is you're going to control your thoughts. You're going to think positive. This is not when I was 4 years old. This is not when I was 14 years old. This is not when I was 6 years old or 11. This is now. So I'm not going to feel the exact same way that I felt then because I'm living in a new realm. I'm not a kid no more. I'm able to think for myself. So what I'm going to think about is positive things. What I'm going to do is positive things. Where I'm going to go is positive places. I'm going to intertwine myself with people that really do understand me and that is not using me for me. So just for a moment, everybody, I'm going to step away. But look at this board right here. And this is what we're going to go over when I come back, okay? I just need 2 seconds to run to the restroom, and I'll be right back. And I do appreciate everybody who is in the room with me. Just give me 1 moment, okay? Give me your hands real quick. I appreciate everyone who stuck in here. I am so apologetic. There we go. All right, back at it. Thank you so much for being here. Now the next thing that we're going to work on when it comes to the mental health healing process is commitments. Commitment. Now, a lot of people, when they hear the word commitment, they think of like marriage or a job. And basically, that's what this is like. It's like when you go to work every single day, you go to work on time, you go to lunch at the exact same time, It's something that you do every day. That's what healing is. Healing is every day. So you're committing your energy, you're committing your space, you're committing your mind, you're committing what you say, what you do, where you go. All of that is a commitment to helping you heal. And you recognize that some good often comes from even the most traumatic events. So something could be happening right here, right now that you are familiar or unfamiliar with. But that doesn't mean, oh, I tap out. No, what it means is you utilize the skills, you utilize the positive vocabulary, you start manifesting immediately. I'm going to make it through this. Everything is going to work out. I'm going to be able to figure things out. There's going to be no problem. If there is any problems, I'm going to use that to challenge myself to be a little bit better, to be calmer. Stay calm. I'm going to stay calm. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to lash out. I'm not going to shut out. You could talk to yourself in your head. You could talk to yourself out loud. But when you start speaking positive to you, all of a sudden, you're sending positive vibes out into the atmosphere. And it is getting a hold to everything else that's positive and making sure it's in your path. So what you start to see is nothing but positive because you manifested that and you stayed with commitment with it. Commitment is recognizing that some good often comes from even the most traumatic events. The most horrible thing that ever happened in your life. You want me to know what is something that's positive out of that? You're still here today, to this day. What you carry on your back, the memories, the thoughts, the smells, the everything that comes with it, even though you still have that, there is going to be a moment that you're going to tell yourself, I have to let that go because it isn't presently still here with me. Just the smell, just the thought, just the energy. But you can release that energy and let it go and reach out for the positive energy to bring back nothing but positive for you to help you through healing. Now, if this is something that you really want to do, you are going to do it because you're going to recognize that there is something better that you want. You're going to analyze every single thing that in your life is going to be amazing. Everything that you're doing, everything that you're saying, everywhere that you go, all the things that aligns with you being able to heal to be a better person. And we're all starting this for ourselves, and it starts now today. As long as you keep going, you're going to commit yourself to every day speaking positive. Even when something is just so negative, you're going to say, I'm better than that. I know I'm going to get past this. This isn't going to last too long. I have other things to promote my mind to. I am a creator, so I'm going to use this to create something better. I'm not going to let that get to me. It could be anything in your life. And believe me, nothing is going to be perfect until you make it perfect. You create the world that you want to be in. You start speaking about the world you want to be in. You start acting in a way that you want to be in that type of environment. Okay? So when, like I said, when we have challenges that we don't present, it's just a challenge in your life, you use that opportunity for problem solving. That means tackle it from A through Z. If you speak positive and think positive, there will be other positive individuals that come in and help assist. They would navigate, they would execute. Everything that you possibly need to help you heal will come to you. You do not have to give up because you're going to take control over your emotions when in response to whatever is happening. You're not going to blow up. You're not going to shut down. You are not going to cry. You are not going to feel guilty. What you're going to do is control yourself and start to think. You're going to start thinking positive. Okay, what can I do? Even though I have never been in this situation before, let me try to figure some things out and see if I could utilize the inner me, my internet, the things that I have about myself that is unique to help me problem solve, because this isn't a threat. I don't have to survive. I have to live. When you begin to live, you begin to understand that you want to continue to keep living. When you survive, you are doing nothing but putting more alcohol onto the wound. You're adding nothing but extra fuel to the fire. We are going to reverse that. We're rewiring our brains, rewiring our thoughts, rewiring our words, rewiring our actions. Okay? Those are what we are going to do because we are going to stay committed. We're going to commit ourselves. When you commit to something, you recognize that some good often comes from even the most traumatic events. Like I just said, if the most traumatic event in your life is XYZ, you have made it here. This is the positive that came out of that traumatic event when you were 6, when you were 9, when you were 14, when you were 21, when you were 30. This is the moment for you to commit because you recognize that some good. I'm still alive. I still can speak. I can still hear. I can still see. I can still fall in love. I can still be a better person. You're going to commit to yourself to be better. Just like we committed to ourselves to feel guilt, we commit to ourselves to feel pain. We can reverse that. We're going to reverse that. We have to reverse that. The early trauma is not the trauma that's here today. Okay? It's not. We have to recognize and realize that our past is the past, and we're going to bounce back off of that and move forward in a way that's unrecognizable. The people that hurt you wouldn't even be able to recognize you when you walk past them because you are healed. They only remember the person that they hurt. They only remember the wound. They don't remember the scars. They don't remember all that. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to make our memory a better memory because we're going to make new memories. We're going to challenge ourselves. We're going to control our own emotions. We're going to do things that's better in our life to better ourselves. And it has anything to do with anything in the past. The only thing that we're doing is revisiting the past to tell the past, I'm over you. Right now, I'm very busy, sweetheart, and there's nothing I can do. I'm so sorry, but I'm busy, okay? So what we're doing in the second stage of healing is analyze. When we analyze, we learn, study, and examine. When we learn, study, and examine, we change for the better our thoughts, our memories, our beliefs, our actions, and our vocabulary. If we're speaking nothing but positive, nothing but good, being optimistic, we are thinking optimistic. We are acting in an optimistic way. So we are not revisiting the past. We are not recycling old ways, old thoughts, old anything. All that. It reminds me of when you grow out of underwear. Underwear gets too old, it get a hole in it, it rips, it's just ugly, whatever. You need some new stuff. You throw it away. That's what we're going to do with our past, our trauma, our drama. We're going to throw that away. Wash our hands with that because all that consists of is pain. And we don't want to keep carrying pain on our back, on our shoulders like this, do we? We want to be able to stand tall and stand strong and see that light as the light sees us. So when we do that, we utilize the skills because there is a law of win-win in life, and it's called strength in me. And that's where you're going to find a lot of your strength at in me because you're challenging yourself. You are controlling your emotions no matter what is going on. You're not going to over panic. You're not going to under panic. You are going to be in control, okay? You're going to stay committed because it is a bumpy road. Just like you had to stay committed to learn how to drive. Learn how to cut or comb your hair. Learn how to write your name in cursive. You were committed for the better of who? Who knows? But for the mental health, it's for the better of you. You do know. Now is the time to get to know yourself. Well, who you used to be is not who you are today. Because when you're healing, you're going to shed off the old skin, the old ways of thinking, the old ways of moving, the old ways of talking. Your vocabulary is going to be immaculate because you're going to start using a vernacular of diversifying your portfolio. And when you do that, your mind starts to connect the neurons, okay? And when the neurons get to moving, it does magnificent things inside of your body that makes you feel whole, that makes you feel like that you cannot tolerate anything that influence your old relationships, your old trauma, any past drama. You're not going to revisit any of that or do any of that because we are thinking positive. We're thinking positive when? At all time, because we are staying committed to everything that we do and everything that we say, only because we are in the healing process, okay? I appreciate every single last one of you that's in here. Make sure you subscribe.